Starting in the next few hours. System number 2 arrives in full force for your Friday, and then we do have a very soggy weekend on the head, and I have all of those weekend details coming up in my full forecast. Steve?
All right, thank you, Kelly. Yesterday and into this morning, parts of Levi Jackson State Park in Laurel County ended up underwater. The concern as we get more rain is water levels there could go right back up. WIMT meteorologist Paige Noel is live there for a look at what turned into a sight to see. Paige?
Yeah, Steve, I'm out here right now, and where I am standing a little bit less than 24 hours ago, this was completely underwater. You can see that here in the video last night. This was taken. Water was rushing over the brick fence, and this entire area, including the parking lot, was underwater. And with more rain on the way, locals are worried the flooding will be worse the second time around. Many people from around this area came out to the park today, though, to see just how bad the flooding is.
I like to do journeys every now and again with the kids when they're off from school, and since there was no school, I figured the flood was really high. So I thought that I would drive them out by and show the little one how big the water was.
Because I'm afraid it'll come up to the grass.
How cute. And even though the water is going down, it is still very dangerous. And do not forget, it only takes 6 inches of water to sweep away an adult, 12 inches to sweep away a car. For now, live at Levi Jackson, meteorologist Paige Noel, WIMT Mountain News.
All right, thank you, Paige. Heavy rain in Floyd County also caused flooding in several backyards of the Langley community. Judge Executive Robbie Williams says these houses were built on what locals call old coal camps. He says for years the county has spent money trying to drain the town, but every year it still floods. Williams says water drains straight to the town, making it feel like the families live in a bowl. For now, no new solutions have been found for the excessive runoff. We have an update on a mudslide in Floyd County. Kentucky 1428 is shut down indefinitely until officials feel it is safe to begin work. They hope whenever the hillside dries out enough, they can start to stabilize the spot well enough to keep the slide from happening. But for now, they think it's best to just keep it closed. Well, tonight we also return our attention to the Cumberland River. Now, this is what Cumberland Falls looked like earlier. The river in Williamsburg sits at 25 feet right now. It's expected to hit a final crest of 30 feet this weekend. We continue our team coverage with WIMT's Phil Pendleton from the Falls.
Some people are saying they've never seen the Cumberland River like this.
Well, I think this is amazing. This is the first time I saw it this high in my lifetime. I'll be 80 years old, 18th of next month.
The state park is one of Kentucky's premier places where locals are usually taken back at where people come from to see an attraction that's in their backyard.
But yeah, there's a lot of people. We've had them from everywhere. I worked at a little store, and you know, even in the summer, just for the moonbows, it's amazing where they come from.
Coming to see Cumberland Falls, which now, because of its height or lack thereof, as one man joked, it's Cumberland Fall-less.
Yeah, absolutely, the power. Yeah, you see the lower river just so wide, and just how much water is flowing.
Upstream in Williamsburg, the river is at 25 feet. That's 4 feet above flood stage. It's carrying a lot of water, and unfortunately, some other things with it as it nears the falls.
Oh yeah. If you get here early, when it first starts, you get to see all the milk jug and baby diapers go down the...
Oh, there's a lot of, trash and logs and stuff that falls, and it flows down, sort of cleans itself out as everything moves down.
Minus the garbage and debris, I'll say this is a sight everyone should take in Whitley County.
It's actually pretty awesome. I think it's probably the highest we've ever seen it.
Phil Pendleton, WIMT Mountain News.
Now, that Cumberland River expected crest of 30 feet is 9 feet above flood stage and just 5 feet from a record. Thankfully, the water in Knott County has receded, but the rain yesterday caused several nasty problems for people throughout the county. WIMT's Connor James has more about the damage this storm caused from the newsroom. Connor?
Steve, you said it, just a nasty situation. Multiple mudslides shutting down roads, flooding yesterday throughout the county. And take a look at this. This is a large road break along Kentucky 582 in Knott County. It connects the Litcar and Kite communities. If you're traveling this way, expect some minor delays. There's a stoplight on both sides of the break directing people, but one lane is still open. Still, people living near it tell me it's definitely a scary situation.
Travel that 582 every day and they're out trying to fix it, but every day it seems a little scarier, and I think there's some issues with like poles that have to be moved, power poles and things, and they can't really do that until the weather gets better.
Connor, you said you can drive on that roadway. Is it still safe? It looks pretty dangerous.
Steve, I did talk with crews there. They tell me it looks a lot more scary than it is. The lane they do have open is fairly stable. They check it almost every day for cracks, but as of now, it's still very structurally sound. All
right, Connor, thank you. Definitely a lot of weather-related problems out there, and Kentucky 1088 in Knott County is now open. It was blocked by a massive mudslide yesterday. This was that scene yesterday. Both lanes were blocked, as we said, but take a look now. It's been cleaned up and both lanes are passable. Crews were able to remove the debris quickly last night. The boat ramp and dam at Buckhorn is closed tonight due to the flooding. We sent a photographer up there today so we could show you what it looks like. Earlier, the lake was sitting at 808 feet. That is 26 feet above Summer Pool. So the Army Corps of Engineers opened the gates. Now that is causing another issue in one Leslie County community. This picture over my shoulder is of Confluence. One lady is stuck there and told us she cannot get out. Meanwhile, emergency officials expect it to only get worse this weekend. Let's turn to WYMT's Justin Case, who joins us now live with the plan to get those folks out if necessary. Justin?
Steve, I'm here at the Leslie County 911 Center. Right behind this shoulder, you're going to see 3 boats back there. Now, emergency officials say that those boats are what they are using to get out to the Confluence community to help people there in need. Right now, they're trying to limit that to medical emergencies or other emergencies that people might be experiencing, especially people who are trapped. Now, the woman you were just referring to, I talked with her on the phone earlier. She's worried because she only has enough food for about 7 to 10 days. But emergency management officials say they will use these 3 boats to get anyone out of there who has emergencies or to get them out to be able to get some food and water and other supplies. But officials say it's really too dangerous for them to travel across the water at night, so they are currently only able to take the boats out during daylight hours. But with more rain in the forecast, Steve, they urge anyone in the Confluence community who can get out to get the supplies you need now, because they don't know how long you could be trapped there for.
For at least a week, maybe 10 days, probably be better off to get enough supplies, hoping to last them for a couple of weeks, because we don't know how long the water's going to be backed up. You know, with this, like I say, with this other rain we got coming this weekend, we don't know how long it's going to be backed up or how far back it's going to come to. So.
Steve, another one of the issues, we covered this story last year, and one of the issues was there's a bridge that goes across the river in the Confluence community, and that prevents people from driving boats underneath it if the floodwaters get too high. Right now, they are still able to fit some boats underneath that bridge, but if it continues to get up any higher, eventually they might not be able to get out there even in an emergency situation. So this is something we will continue to cover, and we'll have more tonight at 11. Steve?
All right, Justin, thank you. Another focus for the Army Corps of Engineers is at Lake Cumberland. We could still see a record-breaking month there. Here's video a viewer sent us today. Since this time yesterday, the lake has risen about 4 more feet. It is nearly 746 feet right now. That is about 6 feet below the record set in 1984. And just a reminder, you can always find the latest weather conditions on the WYMT weather app. See live radar and zoom right into your neighborhood. You can also learn about warnings and advisories in your area. You can find it at the Apple and Google Play stores. Heavy rain is to blame for small slides across Floyd County and some major flooding in Archer Park. Today's dry spell gave workers a chance to prepare for the rain yet to come. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch has more from there.
Workers say Archer Park was built for flood control.
This is just kind of the nature of the beast, you know.
This past December, water spilled over, creating a headache.
We've had more than our share this season.
Fast forward to 2 months later, Lavisa Fork's crest has risen yet again to nearly 29 feet.
Mostly what's underwater now is over around the memorial area. The shelters are underwater. There's a playground that's underwater over there. The basketball court's underwater.
Small mudslides were found in David, Mud Creek, and Wheelwright. Wednesday night, workers made an emergency run to Tackett Fork and Ligon, where water flooded an old coal mine.
We got that under control. They sent an inspector out today to look at it, try to determine the best way to approach the mines going forward. There's some damage to the roads up there.
A dry spell gave workers time to prepare for floodwaters, moving trash cans and tying down picnic tables. Richie Schoolcraft checks river levels on his phone daily.
It's dropping in Pikeville, which tells me over the next 12 hours it's going to start dropping here.
Thursday's sunshine was a ray of hope.
We know there's more rain coming, but please, we've had enough.
But county officials say to expect more.
Take necessary precautions. The ground is saturated as it is. We could have some issues.
Reporting in Floyd County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
For the latest on floodwaters and mudslides in Floyd County, you can find this story on WYMT.com. A new issue beyond flooding in Manchester. Officials there say erosion, likely from all of this rain, caused a water line break. Earlier today, they asked people to conserve water, but for now it does not appear to be as bad as first anticipated. Much of the city water system is under a boil water advisory, though. Crews in Pulaski County are working to fix a second sinkhole that has opened up this week. This one gave way in the backyard of a home near Winding Ridge Road. Earlier this week, a garbage truck fell several feet into a sinkhole on Vine Street. Officials tell us they've expected to see some of these sinkholes because of all the rain we've had.
With this amount of water, you know, you're going to get water running underground and traveling any route it can take, and it just erodes the ground out underneath. And eventually it's going to fall in, whether it's under the highways or residential yards or whatever.
With more rain on the way, officials are reminding folks to be aware of their surroundings. They recommend also having an escape route planned and a first aid kit handy. Water over the roads kept crews busy today in Knox County. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to some people worried they would become surrounded. And now, after she left, they texted her some pictures. And sure enough, the water just keeps rising. This is what it looks like now. Hannah has more from Highway 459.
It's keeping locals on their toes.
I guess maybe the old saying goes, you know, we'll just take it as it comes. That's all we can do with it.
But with more rainfall on the way, crews and homeowners in Knox County fear the worst.
But now where they're talking on the news and the weather, we may have about 2 days again before we'll start all over again.
I hope that the weatherman's dead wrong. Bless his heart, I hope he's as wrong as he's ever been.
Thursday at about noon, people living on Highway 459 could see the water creeping up.
It gets bad, and with as much rain as we've got coming and as wet as it already is, there's just nowhere for it to go.
Soon after, they were blocked in. Unfortunately, the neighbors have seen this happen several times, and they know what they're in for.
Where we're standing right now, by the time it crests, it'll be over our head.
Now, all they can do is prepare.
I mean, there's nothing really you can do except buy you a bunch of groceries and help your neighbor out.
And hope those water levels don't keep rising. In Knox County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
One homeowner along Highway 459 even says he has a boat on hand ready to help anyone out on the road that may need it. Authorities credit response teams for their work handling a small plane crash today in Kentucky. It happened at Capital City Airport in Frankfort this morning. The private plane came from Lexington. It crashed during landing, skidding off the runway and down a slope before catching fire. Crews were able to get to the plane quickly and knock down the flames. The two people inside, an instructor and a student, only had minor injuries and did not go to the hospital. The pension battle still looms at the state capitol. House Bill 504 was filed yesterday. It only deals with the teachers' retirement system and only impacts new hires if passed. A former educator filed the bill. He believes it will receive bipartisan support. Part of the bill encourages teachers to work until age 55 to retire with full benefits. It also aims to create a two-tier benefit system. Today, the bill was assigned to a committee.
Most of us have been dry today, but satellite and radar showing some rain showers starting to inch their way towards Interstate 75, and heavier rain is to come. More on that.